If there's one thing in anime I usually hate, it's fan service. When decisions are made solely because sex sells, it makes the whole work feel like the creators are leaning on a cheap way of pandering, because that's easier than delivering high-quality writing or designs or characters. So I took one look at Kill la Kill and decided it wasn't for me. And if it didn't eventually make its way onto Toonami, I probably wouldn't have given it a shot at all. But it did, so I figured, what the hell, let's see what this series has to offer. On the surface, it seems simple. A teenage girl named Ryoko Matoi comes home one day to find her father dead, the murder weapon broken off in his body. She goes off to hunt down whoever has the other half of that weapon, thus finding her father's killer so she can take revenge. Along the way, she gains a sexy outfit that gives her superpowers, and crazy action ensues. It's a pretty standard setup that serves as an excuse to draw teenage girls nearly naked beating the crap out of each other in fetish gear, and while there's no denying the obvious reactions we're intended to have to these character designs, that isn't the only reason those designs were chosen. Kill la Kill seems simple. At first glance, you think you get exactly what this show is and what it's doing. Except this show is anything but simple. Once you really give it your time and attention, it starts becoming clear that there's more going on with this show than you could ever have imagined. You think you know who the good guys and the bad guys are, but you don't. You think you know who killed Ryoko's dad, but you don't. You think you know where Ryoko's powers come from, but you have no idea. And that's just the plot. It doesn't take too long to realize that everything you're seeing, every character, every action they take, every location they inhabit, all have layer upon layer of meaning and symbolism, not just in terms of the show's narrative, but every single choice made about who these characters are, what they're all about, design choices down to the smallest detail, and what every scrap of it is meant to represent. If you're a comic book fan, I would compare Kill la Kill to Watchmen in terms of its level of subtext, and the extent to which it references and comments on its own medium and genre, as well as the culture it was conceived in. There is such a staggering amount of depth to its content. I struggle with the question of what Kill la Kill is actually about, and what it's ultimately trying to say. There's so much here. You can take pretty much any stance you want on the show, and you'll find ample evidence to support you. Some people say the show is misogynistic and exploitative, that the only way for a woman to get ahead is to take off her clothes. Others say it's empowering, that it's all about owning your sexuality without being ashamed. Some think the way superpowers work in this world glorifies sexual abuse, while others see it as the ultimate statement on conformity and breaking down barriers to see people for who they really are. It's about big corporations and the influence of brands. It's about classical Japan clashing with the impending modern age. It's about fascism versus freedom and the power of social status. It's about society and honesty. It's about perception and bias. It's about anime. It's less a question of what Kill la Kill is about, and more what the show means to you. And for me personally, I went on a similar journey as Ryoko. When she first got her outfit, she was mortified. Just like how I didn't want to give this show the time of day because of its character designs, Ryoko didn't want to have anything to do with the revealing outfits and was incredibly uncomfortable with wearing something so sexual. But rejecting it was keeping her from reaching the full potential of her powers, something she achieved only when she stopped caring about how she looked, in the same way that I finally saw this show for what it is once I got past my initial judgment of the fan service. To me, Kill la Kill is a show all about not judging a book by its cover. It hits you in the face with taboo imagery, dares you not to look away, and to look even deeper. No matter what level you watch this show on, there's always more that you're not seeing yet. This has become a show that I plan to revisit in its entirety at least once a year because I know I'll get something new out of it each time. I was wrong about Kill la Kill. I wrote it off because of the sexualized visuals and what I thought its view on sexuality was. To judge or dismiss this show based on its fan-servicey character designs is the equivalent of judging the full contents of the ocean by what you can see on the surface of the water. And once you jump in and submerge yourself, you'll see that there's more to be found down there than you ever imagined.